and we're so glad you joined us to learn more about Joseph. There's so much excitement happening in today's story, and I'll bet that it'll make you happier than a buzzsaw on a fresh piece of lumber. Well, I don't want to keep you, so let's stand up and get started with worship.
Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not fear, for I am with you. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. I will strengthen you and help you. Isaiah 41:10. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not fear, for I am with you. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. I will strengthen you and help you. Isaiah 41:10. Isaiah 41:10. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. I will strengthen you and help you. Isaiah 41:10.
South, east, west, I wanna follow you. And wherever you lead, yeah, that's where I wanna be. 'Cause God, you are my God, I wanna follow you. You're my maker, my father, you're my best friend, and you love me. That will never end. I'll seek you, I'll find you, I'll give you my praise, and I will follow you all of my days, all my days. And wherever you lead, yeah, that's where I wanna be. 'Cause God, you are my God, I wanna follow you. You're my maker, my father, you're my best friend, and you love me, you hear me, that will never end. I'll seek you, I'll find you, I'll give you my praise, and I will follow you all of my days. And I read your word. Open up my heart, I wanna worship worship you. When I get quiet and I read your word, open up my heart, I wanna worship you. You're my maker, my father, you're my best friend. And you love me, you hear me, that will never end. I'll seek you, I'll find you, I'll give you my praise, and I will follow you. You're my maker, my father, you're my best friend. And you love me, you hear me, that will never end. I'll seek you, I'll find you, I'll give you my praise, and I will follow you all of my days, all my days, all my days, all my days.
Welcome to Game Time. My name is Hayden and I have a fun game for you guys. We have a bunch of tools here from a job site and we're gonna try to do the best job that we can to remember them. Don't worry, I'm gonna describe them, tell them what they are, and then you're gonna try to do the best job you can to remember what items are here on this table. Are you ready? Here we go. We got some safety goggles, okay? Safety is no accident, ladies and gentlemen. Put them in this paint can, which is another item, okay? Got to tape measure it, make sure that you measure things. We have a hammer, okay? You know, do some damage with that boy. A wing nut, that's a fun word to say. A wing nut, not sure what that does, not gonna lie. We have a drill, ready? Put that bad boy in there. Some blue painter's tape for any of you painters out there. We have a monkey wrench, okay? Pretty fun. We have a level to make sure that what you're maybe making in your house or in your room is not slanted or crooked, because trust me, I've done that before. It doesn't work out well. We have a paintbrush or a makeup brush, maybe, okay? You can do what you want with it. We have another blue paintbrush, okay? And then we have, I think this is called a sponge brush. Not really sure, but I think that's what it is, okay? I'm gonna give you one last look. There's 12 items, ladies and gentlemen, 12 items. I'm gonna put it away. Let's see what I remember and what you remember. All right, we're gonna put it down here. All right, can you give you some time? Process, think in your head. What was there? All right, here we go. Let's try to remember 12 items. I have a paintbrush. There's a drill. There's a wing nut, because that's a fun word to say. There's a level. Hammer, maybe? I don't know. I think I got like 4 or 5. Let's see what we have, okay? See what you guys did. Let's see how well you did, okay? Let's bust this bad boy out. Here we go. Okay, I missed some stuff, not gonna lie. Didn't do as good as I thought I was gonna do, but I'm sure you guys did great. I have a drill. I think I got that one. Blue with painter's tape. Anybody get that? Okay. Safety glasses. Didn't get that one. Oh well. A hammer. Got that one. A level. Nice. Good work, Hayden. A monkey wrench. A wing nut. There we go. And then tape measure. And 3 paintbrushes. Okay. We got the sponge brush. We got your makeup brush. And then we got a little brush. Okay. I hope you guys had fun. Let's see how well you did. It was awesome.
Oh, there you are. Hey guys, it's me, Allison. Not Joseph, Allison. Good job. Okay, you know what time it is now, don't ya? Yeah, that's right. Memory verse time. My favorite time of the day, actually, okay? But don't tell anybody else that. Okay, so you remember last week we learned Psalm 34:18, right? Yeah, I know, you've probably been practicing a lot, haven't ya? Okay, good. Well, this week, we're gonna do it again. So for my friends that weren't able to watch last week, we're gonna go down super slow so we can learn it together. But for those of you who saw last week, we're gonna get a little more practice in, okay? Because at the end, we got a fun little surprise for you, okay? So you better do it with us, okay? You might need a little practice, okay? So it looked a little something like this. Psalm 34:18. The Lord is close to those whose hearts have been broken. You guys remember that? Okay, let's break it up into a few parts. First part is the Lord. So you remember, we're going to take our L and do Lord. You guys remember that one? Okay, one more time. The Lord. Next part is close to. So remember, we're going to take our hands, one in front of us, and bring the other one closer. Let's try that part together. The Lord is close to. Good job. Okay, the next part is those. So remember, we're going to take our little pointer and point to all of our friends in front of us, okay? Let's try all of that together. The Lord is close to those. Amazing job, guys. Okay, now our very last part is this. To those whose hearts have been broken. One more time. Whose hearts, point to your heart, have been, and then we're going to break our stick, broken. Very good. Okay, so now let's see if we can do it one time in slow motion, one time medium fast, and then one time super duper 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 fast, okay? You guys ready? So just make sure you clear some room around you because we don't want to hit our friends, okay? All right, here we go. Round number 1, super slow-mo. Here we go. Psalm 34:18. The Lord is close to those whose hearts have been broken. Ooh, that was so slow, guys. You looked like little turtles. Okay, now let's see if we can do it medium speed. You ready? Okay, this is to ease into our next round. Let's try it. Here we go. Psalm 34:18. The Lord is close to those whose hearts have been broken. Okay, medium speed was amazing. You guys did so well. But now for our last round, super duper sonic speed. Are you guys ready? I know I am. Okay, remember, clear some room around it because we don't want to hit our friends. All right, here we go. Psalm 34:18. The Lord is close to those whose hearts have been broken. Did you guys do it as fast as I did? You probably did it faster. All right, that was the most fun I think I've ever had in my entire life. And I love you guys so much, and I cannot wait to see you next week.
Hi, Allie.
Well, hey, Andy. How are you?
I'm okay, but I've got a conundrum.
What?
A conundrum. You know, a confusing and difficult problem. A question to solve.
Oh, well, bring it on.
Well, I'm thinking we might need Sarah's help to solve this one.
Okay. Sarah! Oh, Sarah!
Hey! We're supposed to do that together.
Oh, sorry, Andy. A conundrum sounded urgent. I may have panicked a little bit.
It's okay.
Hey guys, what's up?
Andy has a conundrum. You know, a difficult problem, a question to solve.
Yes, Allie, I do know what a conundrum is.
Oh.
So, Andy, do you want to talk about your conundrum?
Well, yeah. So, there's this kid at school who I really like hanging out with, and in fact, I thought he was my best friend. But now, maybe he's my ex-best friend, or just a guy I know. Anyway, he really messed up.
Okay.
Well, what'd he do?
Well, I was supposed to hang out with some guys this weekend and go to the movies, but then my friend said he got sick and he couldn't go. I didn't want to go without him, so I stayed home. But then I found out that he lied to me, because the other guys didn't want me to come, and then he went to the movies anyway. I only know because they snuck their way into the theater, and they got caught, and the police called their parents and everything. His mom told my mom all about it.
Wow, that's big!
Yeah, I'm glad it wasn't there, but on the other hand, I'm really hurt too.
Oh, Andy, I'm so sorry that happened to you, but I'm also glad that you weren't there.
I know, and you know what's weird? I don't think my friend would have snuck into the theater if it was just him and me. He's better than that, I think. I just don't know.
Well, Andy, I think today's part of the Bible story will really help you out with that. You ready to watch?
Sure.
Yep, I know I am.
While Joseph ruled in Egypt, his family back home began to run out of food. So Jacob gathered his 10 sons together and sent them to Egypt to buy grain from Pharaoh. The brothers arrived among the crowds of people who came to see the governor in charge. When they approached Joseph, they bowed down to him with their faces low to the ground, just as Joseph had once dreamed they would. They did not recognize him, but Joseph knew who they were immediately. He did not give himself away. Instead, he decided to test them to see if they had changed. He spoke to them in a mean way and accused them of being spies. The brothers said they were not spies, but the 12 sons of one man. The youngest son, Benjamin, was at home with their father, and another was gone. Joseph listened, but threw them in jail anyway. After 3 days, Joseph gave them grain for their families and let them go home. But he kept Simeon, the second oldest, in jail. He told the brothers that they must return with Benjamin to prove that they were not spies. The brothers left, but as they camped that night, they found the money that they had used to buy the grain hidden in their bags. This worried them greatly. When they got home, they told their father all that had happened. He said, "Joseph is gone, Simeon is gone. Now you want to take Benjamin too?" Jacob refused and would not let them take Benjamin to Egypt. But after a time, the family began to run out of food again. Everyone knew they had to return to Egypt, but they couldn't go without Benjamin. So Judah, the fourth oldest son, convinced their father to send him under his protection. Jacob then doubled the amount of money his sons would carry and packed their finest gifts. When they arrived in Egypt, Joseph told the manager of his house to prepare a feast and invite his brothers to come as guests to eat with him. Then he brought Simeon from jail to dine with them. When Joseph arrived, his brothers presented their gifts to him and bowed before him once again. He asked about the father they spoke of and wanted to meet Benjamin. The moment overwhelmed Joseph so much that he had to leave quickly to find a private place to cry. When he returned, the food was served, so all of Joseph's brothers ate and drank with him. When morning came, the brothers started their journey home, but soon Joseph's manager chased after them. He accused them of stealing a silver cup. They denied taking it, but the manager found it in Benjamin's grain sacks. This was all part of Joseph's test. Benjamin was taken back to Egypt to become a slave, and all the brothers followed. When they arrived, they threw themselves down on the ground in front of Joseph. Judah pleaded with Joseph to keep him as a slave in Benjamin's place. He said their dad would surely die of sadness if Benjamin did not return home. Joseph couldn't take it anymore. He told everyone to leave the room except for his brothers. Then he told them who he was. He said, "I am your brother Joseph. I am the one you sold into Egypt. But don't be upset. God sent me ahead of you to save many lives. For 2 years now, there hasn't been enough food in the land, and for the next 5 years, people won't be plowing or gathering crops. He sent me here to save your lives as an act of mighty power." Then Joseph told them to go home and tell their father that he was alive. He told them to bring their father and their families, their flocks and their children back to Egypt to live in the land of Goshen, where he could take care of them and provide for all their needs. Then he threw his arms around Benjamin and wept. Joseph kissed all of his brothers and wept over them. The brothers returned home and told their father everything. At first, Jacob was shocked and didn't believe them. But when he saw all the gifts, he said, "I believe it now. My son Joseph is still alive. I'll go and see him before I die."
That's so cool that Joseph's brother needed his help after all that time. And how great was it that he got to keep his identity a secret from them?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy and fun the way God worked all of that out. But what do you guys think about how Joseph tested his brothers with the money bags and the silver cup?
Well, I like that part, even though it seemed kind of sneaky.
What do you mean?
Well, we know God wants us to forgive others, but Joseph tested his brothers first. And I think he was trying to see if they changed. They could have left Simeon in jail forever or ditched Benjamin. After all, they ditched Joseph.
That's very true, Andy. And Joseph's brothers had done some really horrible and terrible things to him, so maybe he wanted to see if they would do the same thing to Benjamin.
That's awful. What if they left Benjamin to be a slave too?
I don't know, but the point is that they didn't do it a second time.
Right. Instead, they followed the manager all the way back to Egypt and begged Joseph to let Benjamin go.
Yeah, and Judah even promised to stay in his place.
That's right. And once Joseph saw that they had changed and they were different, what did he do?
He said, "Hey guys, I'm your brother Joseph, and God meant this all to be a part of his plan."
Yeah, I like today's story. It kind of made a lot of things finally work out for good.
Yeah, Joseph cried and everything. It was emotional for him. I think God was beginning to heal all the pain that Joseph had in his heart from being sold by his brothers all those years back.
I agree, Allie. And God did some amazing things bringing Joseph's family back together. He was working on healing his broken heart.
You know, it's like today's verse, Psalm 34:18. The Lord is close to those whose hearts have been broken.
Sarah, does this mean I'm supposed to test my friend before I forgive him?
Well, he did sneak into the theater, but do you know how he's feeling about it?
Yeah, he might be a bad person.
Or a person who didn't make a wise choice. And I think you should take it slow and see if your friend apologizes. You know, he may be really sorry for what he did, Andy.
I hadn't thought about it that way, but he really did hurt my feelings. I probably need to pray and ask God to help me be ready to forgive him.
Well, that's an excellent start.
So, conundrum solved?
Conundrum solved.
So today's story of Joseph shows us that God can take the most painful of situations and turn them around. But there's a new tool that we need to learn how to use, and that is the tool of forgiveness. God may ask us to forgive others even when it seems like an impossible thing to do. But forgiveness is what's best for us, and it can help us heal when our hearts have been broken. Plus, it helps us move closer to God and being more like Him. Now, forgiving others doesn't mean that we just have to forgive and then forget what happened and go right back to being best friends with them. But it does help us realize that all of us are sinners and all of us make mistakes sometimes. So my challenge for you this week is to think about who you need to forgive. It could be a family member, it could be a friend, it could be a complete stranger, and it could be someone that hasn't even asked for your forgiveness. But I challenge you to think about who in your life you need to forgive. And then pray and ask God to be with you. Ask Him to heal your broken heart and help you move towards forgiveness. Speaking of prayer, will you guys pray with me right now? Dear God, we thank you so much for who you are and who you are to us. We thank you for loving us, and we pray that you teach us what it looks like to forgive, even when it seems impossible. We pray that you would heal our hearts if they feel broken and come near to us and teach us to be more like you. We love you, Jesus. In your name I pray. Amen.
Hey kids, you know what time it is? That's right, it's tool time. Are you ready? Here we go. Question number 1. Why did Joseph test his brothers? He wanted to see if A, they had changed, B, they had more money, or C, they wanted to move to Egypt. Do you have your answer? The answer is A. Joseph tested his brothers to see if they had changed. Question number 2, true or not true? God always wants us to forgive others. Is this true or not true? The answer is true. When we forgive others, broken hearts begin healing. Question number 3, God's plan, A, helped Joseph become a wise leader. B, kept Joseph's family from starving. Or C, helped heal Joseph's broken heart. Do you know which answer is true? Well, if you said all of them, you were right. God's plan put Joseph in charge of all of Egypt. It saved his family from starvation, and it brought his family back together again. Great job, everyone.
Well, how about that? Today we got another tool for our toolbox, and this one's called forgiveness. Sometimes forgiveness is really hard to do, but thank goodness God is always ready to lend us a helping hand. And this here blueprint of Joseph's life is really starting to take shape as God reveals the bigger picture he planned long ago. Can't wait to see what happens next. Oh, stay tuned for Sarah's Workshop coming up next. See you later!
Hey y'all, I'm Sarah, and this is Sarah's Workshop. Hello and welcome back to the workshop. Today we are learning how to make a garden stone or a garden stepping stone. I love gardening, and I looked at my beautiful garden recently and said, you know what, I want to zhuzh it up. So I thought I would make a decorative stone to go in it that would be really fancy and provide just the right amount of zhuzh. So this is what you're going to need. You're going to need a pie tin. So that means you need to go to the store and you need to eat a pie so that you have a pie tin. Ta-da! Or you can get them at the 99-cent store or Dollar Tree. You're going to need cooking spray. You're going to need water, and you're going to need fast-setting Quikrete or fast-setting concrete. You're going to need a trowel and something to mix your concrete in. You'll also need all the fun doodads that you want to decorate your stepping stone with. You ready? Let's do it. Okay, so the very first thing we need to do is mix our concrete. So the easiest way to figure out how much you need is to fill your pie tin. So I'm just gonna open my bag up just a little bit. And then I'm gonna fill my pie tin to the brim. Okay, so now that I've filled my pie tin with my concrete mix, I'm gonna pour it very carefully so as not to make a humongous mess into my bucket that I am going to be mixing it in. Woo-wee! Man, so now that it's in your bucket, we're gonna slowly add water, and we want our concrete mixture to be like the texture of a mud pie. Have you made a mud pie? I know I've made several mud pies in my life. In fact, at one point in time, I had an entire mud kitchen. So I'm a mud pie professional. So that's the texture that you want and that we're going to be working towards. So I want to add just a little bit of water at a time, mix it together. It's always easier to add more water than it is to add more concrete. Mix, mix, mix. Okay, so you want to mix until it is all wet. Your entire mix is wet and it looks like a mud pie, okay? No mud pie has dry clumps in it. No good mud pie has dry clumps in it. So make sure you mix it up real good. Then when it's fully mixed, we're gonna slowly add it to our pan. But before we do that, we wanna spray it with some cooking spray so that it makes it easier for us to release our stone from the mold when it's time to pop it out. Okay, so I'm just gonna spray a little bit of that in there. Perfect. Okay, now it's time to add our concrete. And almost got it, just scraping the bottom of the barrel, so to speak. Okay. Now we're just gonna smooth it out. And we're gonna do what's called tamping it down. So we're just gonna lightly tap it down all the way around to smooth it out. So it's got a nice flat surface so that we can start decorating it. Okay, that should be good. So now you're gonna I collected buttons, I used shells for this one, I painted rocks, I used some glitter. You can put all different kinds of fun things in your garden stone. You can even put a handprint in there, a footprint, a dog or cat's paw print. The sky is the limit. So I'm just gonna use a bunch of really fun buttons that I have. And you don't need to really press them in there. You just set them on top, touch them a little bit, and they'll settle in. So now I'm just gonna add all of my baubles and awesomeness to decorate my stepping stone. Okay, I'm just adding the last few pieces onto my concrete. Now, it's really important that you try your very hardest not to get your hands covered in concrete. If you get concrete on your hands, no problem, just wash them real good. The same goes for if you put a paw print in your concrete, you want to make sure you wash that off pretty quickly because it does dry really fast. Okay. So now that you have your design set into your mixture, you're just gonna leave it out in the sun to dry for about 24 hours. And after 24 hours, you're just gonna kind of like tap it on the ground a little bit to loosen it up from the mold. And then I just flipped mine over and it fell right out. And then I put it in my garden and now my garden looks spectacular. And that's pretty much how you make a garden stepping stone. Really important to note though that these aren't actual stepping stones, so if you step on it, it might crack. So they're more decorative than they are an actual stepping stone. But I hope you had tons of fun. Make sure you, as always, that you have a parent with you, that you invite your friends, and you make it a really fun time making garden stones together. Thanks for joining me in the workshop and have a wonderful week. Bye guys.